I was thinking we go all like stupid with it and just like because like of new news, we just wear a suit or something to be like. But I'm like, that's too much work.
This is just basically new news part two, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah.
All right, is
That's
it?
what news was.
Are you checking? Let's
Oh,
see.
there we go.
Audio is working. Audio is
Uh,
working.
it's loading up. I think there's an ad coming up. What's episode three? What was episode one and two for Waffle Club?
Yeah, there was an episode one and two. It was like
Oh,
a
damn.
month ago.
I definitely watched that. Uh huh. Yeah.
Wait, can you hear yourself? Is it working? No echoes,
No,
nothing.
it's still loading up. Give me a sec.
Still loading for you? Mine's already in.
Oh, there we go.
Is it working now?
Trying to see if there's any audio. See our live or hold up.
Yeah, I'm live. I can hear it. Yo, chat. Let me know if you can hear.
This is why my internet's just bad, man.
How much speed do you get?
Not good. I feel embarrassed to say. I won't expose myself on frame rate.
Dude, mine's probably worse. Okay, just say it. What is it?
Is yours double digit or triple digit?
Double digit. It's double digit.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
How
Okay.
much do you
Like
get?
I think like 54. Read it right.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, I get 60 written right. So we're
yeah,
about the same.
the same. Alright, I'm just gonna trust or I can actually, you know what? Let me check on my computer. That
It should be
Twitch.
working.
It should. It should.
There shouldn't be
Just
any issues now, like we're past that. There can't be any issues. We can't afford it.
let's see. Okay. It seems fine. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it says clear.
Perfect.
It's good. It's good.
Okay, let's just get started then. All right. Oh dang, my bitrate is garbage, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's clear, audio is here. That's all that matters. All right, welcome
Yes,
back
sir.
to another episode of the Waffle Club podcast. I got a guest with me here today, or a reoccurring character. I don't know. What would you consider yourself as?
A seasonal cameo.
All right.
uh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, let's just get right into it. We had a lot of technical difficulties while trying to get this set up, right? Like this is the what, fourth attempt?
Oh man, I think like if we just put into like our tries and fixes, it would be like our sixth. But like the amount of
Oh yeah,
times we went live and the amount of times we had to like get off live, get on live, it was at least like close to 10. And it's just like
yeah, 100
it
percent.
begs to differ. Like you spend so much cash on like Windows and like Macs and everything like that, just for it to fail you when you're trying to do the simplest tasks like record a
Dude,
podcast or like have something
dude,
legit
that's
going
crazy to me. Like you're paying $1,000 or thousand plus for like a MacBook, and you can't even use OBS, right? Like you can't even record your screen's audio. Like as
Yeah,
simple as
I
that.
100%. Like, I mean, the whole thing about Mac, like Windows, I give it the benefit of the doubt because different type of PCs have like different types of purposes, right? Like, you can either have it for gaming or for really like high rendering, or you could just have it for office work. But like MacBook across the board is supposed to be like the average best, right? It's supposed to be able to
Yeah.
do like Photoshop and recording, and it's supposed to be
Which it
easy
does
on
really well, by the way.
operating.
Like Photoshop, like video editing, like Adobe, everything, like it just works way better on Mac, according like in my experience.
Yeah, but the second you try to like add a second external audio onto Twitch,
Yeah,
it sounds like Lucifer the Third coming on this.
yeah. Okay,
It's just
so
so
the
funny,
issue
man.
was like for some reason, I use this like thing called like black hole, right? And like that was like what, a virtual mic that I was using to record, right? And then
Yeah,
it was working until like day before yesterday, when all of a sudden like it just started making this like crackling sound. At first, it didn't record audio at all, and then we figured out some stuff, like fixed some issues, and then now it started recording. And then we're like, okay, we're in the safe zone, right? and then it just sounds
Yeah,
like a
definitely
grizzly
not.
bear. And
Not
then the
even a good
second,
script.
yeah, and the second attempt was I used another app called Dipper. Same thing. It worked a little bit better, but same issue. And then we even tried. I sent him the stream key to stream off of his laptop, and he had issues as well. He's been blaming Mac, but the Windows was not that reliable either. Windows is not.
No, no. Let me clarify something here. Audio wise, like once I had this stream key, audio wise, it was like clean
Yeah.
because it was able to like hear my audio and hear your audio. My issue was for some reason, like Twitch just took like a phone's aspect ratio, like it was like what 16:9, or whatever it is like a vertical phone is, and so like it you had like half my face and half your face onto Twitch,
No, it
which
just got
which looked
squished.
wonky, bro.
Just
Yeah,
got
it just looked
squished.
super wonky. So it's like we had like two half of the pie here. Like
Yeah.
I had the audio, but then
I had
you
the
had
video.
like the video quality, and it was
The
just like,
video
what's
quality on
happening?
the Mac was just perfect. Like I
It
can
was
see it
crisp.
right now. Like the video quality on my end right now, it's like it's a little bit. There's a little bit of latency. You can kind of
Hmm.
notice it. But on Mac was like 10 times better. And your video quality, I mean, yours is still good on Windows
Mine
as
is
well.
still
But on Mac, like the video quality, because I don't have a webcam, right? I use my phone as a webcam, and with connectivity, what is it called? Con- Camera connectivity. I don't know what it's
Bitrate or
called.
whatever. Yeah,
Some
yeah,
Apple mumbo jumbo. Yeah, they have that. It just works. I don't know how, but it works, and it's
yeah.
beautiful.
No, it was
You should get a
crisp.
Mac.
Like, yeah, no, not after the last couple of days. I'll stick with my Windows. But like, no, Mac. The thing is, right? Like, as I want to like just hate on Mac and Apple in general, right? Because like,
You
especially
use an
now, like
iPhone, by the way, so
I do because right now like it's still like again it's the average best, right? Like I want
yeah,
to do a lot of things with my phone, so I know that the iPhone is reliable, right? If I go into Android, whatever Android I get, whatever its specialty feature is, it's the best in that category. But like if I want
it's
to
gonna
use
be
it for
lacking
anything
in
else,
others. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And so, but the thing is, if you're looking at the tech industry right now, right? A lot of new phones coming out, especially flagship Samsung, Huawei, not really Huawei, but
they
like the
got banned. You
Pixel,
hear that?
Huawei.
Yeah, it's Huawei, by
Oh,
the way. Yeah, they got completely banned. They're not allowed to sell in America, UK, Canada, nowhere. And
oh,
also,
that.
like Google services are not available on Huawei devices, even if you buy them in like China and stuff. You can't.
Okay,
There's no app store.
let's put Huawei to the side then. But like still like Pixel, OnePlus. Like right now, I tried to get my dad a birthday gift, right? And so a
The
lot of
Pixel's great,
like
by the way.
people are saying that like oh go for the iPhone, but like my dad's been used to like the Android for like the last decade, and
Yeah,
he's too like in that mentality now. Like where you if you try to switch him from like Android to Apple, like if you don't know what Apple really is all about, it's just such a big jump to like try and explain everything. So I wanted to stay within like the sphere of Android, so I got him the Pixel 8 Pro, and like bro it's so crisp. Like I'm doing a one-to-one with imaging, and like it has a lot of
yeah.
like AI rendering and like all of that, right? For sure, but I'm doing like a one-to-one like picture quality rendering with the 15 Pro Max here, and like for natural aesthetic the 15 Pro Max is beautiful,
Yeah,
but
100%.
in terms of clarity and like auto balancing, because things like realistically, unless you're going for the natural look, a lot of pictures you take on the iPhone you're going to edit it a little bit here and there just to make it a little bit more crisp, right? The Pixel 8 Pro does that without even like asking, and it does that really well. Like it knows what the intention of that picture is, so it kind of like puts the brightness down, it brings the contrast up, it makes it a little bit more colorful, but not too much where it looks like it's just edited and blasted in noise. So like in terms of like the Android spectrum, where we're going right now, because Apple's kind of been plateauing, at least in like the phone section for the last
Yeah.
year, right? And so like if they continue to release like 16 Pro Max, 17 Pro Max, and they continue just working on the small stuff like making the action button a button instead of a switch,
How is
or
that, by the way? like you have the action button,
it,
right?
yeah, I do. It's not bad, but like a lot of times because I'm so used to it being a switch, I mistake it for the up volume, right? So I'm like trying to
Oh
like
yeah,
I'm trying to
it's right
increase
next to
my
it.
my I'm trying to increase my volume, and it's just like ringer off, ringer on, and I'm like, bro,
Wait, so you
just
haven't set it
let
to like any other like the special features? Like you haven't tried doing that, or you just keep it like default?
no. I keep it default for now, but I do want to like learn a little bit more about the iPhone before I like change up because I know you can make it your flashlight. You can like have it open up apps
You can have
for
it into like make a shortcut, which if you don't know what, have you used the shortcuts app?
not really, not
Okay,
really.
in high school, have you done like the code.org and like what is it, Scratch? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
blocks. You can do
Like the
that
little,
on, yeah, you can do that on the shortcuts app. So like I have some shortcuts like water eject and stuff. So that will like play a sound at a certain frequency to like get water out of speakers. I have another
oh,
like shortcut when I enter a certain place. Like let's say for example, right? I go to the gym, it opens my gym app right away, and
that's
opens my starts playing my playlist on Spotify, like without even doing anything. As soon as I walk in, it just starts doing it automatically, and like stuff like that. You can do so much with it. And if you have like smart lights and all that, like that's
yeah.
integrated with Apple HomeKit, you can even like turn on your lights when you walk in the door, stuff like that. So you can actually have like that kind of features set to that action button. So let's say for example, you press that button and like you could have it open like four different apps at the same time, send a message, turn on the flashlight, turn on the kitchen stove, turn on the blinds. Like possibilities are like endless, pretty much.
Yeah, but like you're giving Apple your whole house, man. Like one day if it just decides to up and like overtake your house,
Are
all of
you
a sudden
against the idea of a smart house?
100% smart house, 100%. Because like I think right now, like people with knowledge of like tech and coding
Yeah,
and AI is way higher than like where tech, AI, and all of that is right now. Right. So 100% smart house means if you're not the kind of guy to know how to really dig deep into like the know-hows of your smart home, right? Someone else is. Right. It's
hundred
the
percent.
same way
Yeah,
like let's say like you had a normal house, right? And like your lights aren't working, right? Either you get someone to come and look at the electrical wire, or if you're smart enough to look at like the electrical layout of your house, you can go and fix the solution yourself, right? It's the same way with a smart home. Like if you don't know what's wrong, and it's not just like connecting Bluetooth to like technology to technology. If you don't know what's wrong with your house, and like there's someone who does, at some point you're giving yourself the open risk of like someone else taking full control of your house, right?
yeah. I
Like
mean,
for us,
I got like I have like a little bit of a smart house. Like it's not like a smart room basically. It's only in my room. So I got the Alexa and then like lights, like speakers obviously, and then like a fan, like a couple different lamps. So that's all connected. But I don't think it's a good idea right now to like have like a smart lock, for example, like being able to open your like front door or like your garage, stuff like that. I think that's a little scary because like if like you said, if someone can, if you don't know how to like protect yourself the right way, someone else will know how to get in and
yeah.
take advantage of that.
And even in the future, right? Like I wanna get into this topic a little bit more later on, but like in terms of engineering a house that's like full of like smart features, right? Like everything that's made always dives down to human error. Even if you have like a perfect AI is only made out of a human error, right? And so
Yeah,
like even if you build the most perfect structure or you set up the most perfect like smart home, whatever it is, right? The fact that there's a possibility of human error in there is enough for someone to kind of violate that feature, right? Or in some sense it may not even be like an active person violating that feature, but it might just be an accident that occurs, right? Where it like it collides with something that is a weak or a failure at the engineer's part, right? And so like all these kind of risk factors, even if you come into a future where you have technology strong enough to await hackers and like internet trolls and all of that, like you still have susceptibility to screw yourself over. What if electricity goes out? What if you have a blackout, right? What if like you have some kind of like major grid issue that kind of cuts your whole like city section off,
like
like
even like it's more simpler. Like because I've seen this happen. Right, I went to someone's house who has like a smart home setup, and
mhm.
at that time like Rogers, they were using Rogers for the Wi-Fi, right? And their service went out, and because of that, their Wi-Fi went out, and that meant they couldn't use their Google Home, which means they couldn't turn on their lights, and there
Yeah, man.
it was pretty much like there was no electricity, but it was just their Wi-Fi that went out, and
And that like
you really couldn't do anything at that point. Like
and in this day and age, like your Wi-Fi going out is legit like almost
World War
half your
Three, bro.
security. Yeah, man. Because what
Some of
happened?
these
What
kids,
happened
it's
in
crazy.
what happened in what was it? Was it 2022? Yeah, yeah. In 2022 summer, right? Rogers had like a nationwide cutout of their internet, right? And like people with data or Wi-Fi in Rogers could not access anything, right? And at the time, I was actually doing a co-op, which is close by home, which is the only reason why it was like okay because I knew the way to get back home. But in this co-op, I was basically like for the 4 months, I was basically driving from like cities that were like an hour and a half away to like cities that were like maybe 20, 30 minutes away, right? And so like in this specific day I was 20, 30 minutes from home, and Rogers cut out. It's like I remember this like it was yesterday because it was like 7 or 8 in the morning and nothing worked, and I had to call my boss being like, hey, I don't have internet, I can't do my work. And she said, you know what, just go home and I'll pay you for the whole day
Wait, were you using
because
like Rogers Wi-Fi or the like your cell phone plan? Was Rogers
I
or
was I was use my cell phone plan was Rogers because I was in my
wait? How'd you
car
call
most of
your
the time.
boss then?
How did I like? I remember. I think no, no, no. I had my personal phone on me, and
Oh,
my
okay.
personal phone was Bell, right? So through my Bell, I called. Like I don't know if I called head office because she was working at head office, or if I called directly to her phone, because I know her work phone was also Rogers. I don't know how it is, but like I called her and I was just like, hey, I don't have internet on my laptop or my phone or my work phone. Like I can't access my data or nothing. And she was just like, you know what, just go home. Let's try again tomorrow. You get paid for the whole day. I'm like, oh, swell, right? So I go home, right? And this is like the same day. Like, luckily because it was close by home, I knew like the roads to take back, home. But at the same time, that evening we had a funeral. Like I won't say the person, but like you and I both know the uncle. But like even to get there, because Roger's Wi-Fi is still down for the whole day, right? This was like I think in like 45, 50 minutes away from home, and we had to completely just rely on like knowledge of where
Oh,
this
dude, that's
funeral
like
home was,
that's a
right?
good like that's a plot for like a that could be a plot for like a movie or something. Like if like all like internet just shut down and then like people had to rely on like ancient technology, like that would be interesting.
Yeah, everything just reverts back to cavemanish, bro. Like it's so crazy because like I can try and pull up the statistics for like accidents that day, but like bro, the amount of people that require like Google Maps to see if there's traffic on the road, right? Or to
I'll
see
admit
like
like I cannot drive without Google Maps. If I've never
easily.
been if I haven't driven there like at least 2 times, I will not remember the road.
Now, like the only reason I know like the road that I can get from like here to Kitchener, or I can go from Kitchener to Hamilton, or I can
But
go
you drive there a lot, right? Like you go there
a
back and
lot,
forth.
right?
Yeah.
Like
But like
like the
let's say if you
main
go like twice or like, some people can remember like just driving once. They'll remember the
Mhm.
exact way to get there. Or like some people know like if you tell them the intersection, right? They know exactly how to get there without
How to
maps
get
or
there.
anything. Like I don't my dad can do that, but like I can't even like even like going to church, right? Like I only knew the way to church after I started driving. Like
That's crazy,
I'm
bro.
not even kidding. Like I only knew the way like properly, like without using maps at all. Like after the first like day of driving, first 2 days of driving,
I was
and then
like
I
two
got it.
roads.
But like if I sit in the passenger seat, right? Like I'm not gonna remember the way or anything. Like I
Yeah,
need the maps. Like I'm super reliant on
bro.
maps, which is kind of embarrassing. Yeah.
Easy. No, no, no. But like that's where like our generation is, right? Like people who go to work, who go to the city, or who go out of the city, who have to come from city to city. Like you're gonna use Google Maps, even if like I was talking to my boss what this happened. I don't use Google Maps to like know where I'm going, but all I want to do is to see if there's gonna be traffic on the
Yeah.
highways or if there's gonna be like no traffic. So if there's traffic on the highway, I take the inner road and go.
Hey, you
And
didn't
nine
use
out of
the
ten times,
Waze? Waze?
I don't use Waze. I just use like
Try
Apple
it. Try it.
Maps
It's
or
actually so
Google
much
Maps.
better, bro.
It's so much data though. Like you
Dude,
have to use data
what do you
to
mean?
use it. Actually, I guess you had to use data for all these map things. I don't know. It's just
Wait,
like
so are you telling me you use Google Maps and you turn off your data?
Apple Maps. Like I use it. Like I see whenever I like start from work,
Yeah.
I like connect on to Wi-Fi. I see the maps. I'm like, okay, there's this much traffic, and then I
And
just
then you
drive
turn
around.
it
I'm like,
off? Like you turn off the data?
yeah, yeah.
But
It
then like
doesn't
if
like
something
update.
happens, like it's not gonna update.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
you'll just
yeah.
keep you on the same road.
Yeah, it's not a live
And
update, but
dude,
like,
how much data do you have?
I just changed. So when I got this iPhone 15 Pro Max, I got 75 gigs.
Bro, that's more than enough. Like you can
Yeah, I know,
have your
I know, I
data
know, I
on
know,
24/7 and it's not gonna make a dent.
I
I
know, I
have
know, I know,
70
but
GB as
like,
well. I have 70 GB and I've never like run out.
I know, but like when I was working, right? Like I had my work phone, which is like unlimited data under Rogers,
Bro, then
but
what's the
my
issue?
no, it's just what I because I have no issue with driving. Like driving is fine. It's just like I just want to know like predetermined to see if
Yeah.
it's like gonna be busy in the
At
highway or
that
not.
that
Because
means you need to have your data on.
for before I start driving, 100%. But
Waze is good, like, cause you can have like it gives you like accident reports and like police, like reports police and stuff.
yeah, like I know because this is how you know. This is how you know Waze is good. When the older guys start using it, right? Like a lot of these Instagram social, like Snapchat social media, like you hear like Gen Z and millennials talk about it, right? Like, but generations before that don't really talk about it as, I guess, as like big as like Facebook or whatever platform they use. But I hear like people who are like in their 30s or 40s talking about Waze. Like
Yeah,
they
my
use Waze
dad
and
uses Waze. He loves it,
yeah. And so like, you know what? I might download Waze again just because like if it's that
dude.
useful, because I never really trust it,
I
right?
I only like Waze because of like it's basically like a free radar detector.
That's true, but you don't speed though. Like you're, bro. What do you
Hey,
drive that the police is gonna catch you in,
you
bro?
never know. You just want to be safe. You just want to keep a lookout. Even if I'm not
Yeah.
speeding, right? I'm a person of color. I could be on the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you want to avoid confrontation as much as possible.
No, when I was younger, I think that would have been helpful because there was a time where I was detained by the cops just, I guess, for walking in the forest,
No
right?
way.
So like,
Wait, how
just a
come you've
little
never
like
told me this?
I I told a couple people this because that day was so weird
Felt like a fever
because
dream.
it was a few no 100% because let me lay like a rough like idea of what that day was. I came back from work. I go to my gym in the same path that I do always. I see the police drive in the forest, like in like a forest path, which I'm like, why is there like a police charger here? And then not even 25 minutes after that, still continuing towards my gym, I get catcalled and stalked by a bisexual dude, right? And then like I
Oh, sorry,
finally get
sorry.
into
My
the
bad.
gym.
That must have been traumatic for you. My bad.
It was hella traumatic, bro. I was like, it was my first time. Like I genuinely felt like I was one of the victims of like Jeffrey Dahmer. Because I won't
Dude,
talk about I
dude,
won't talk
this
about that whole
similar thing
situation.
happened yesterday night. One
Oh,
second, one second. Yeah, but like okay, I was just walking around like in the middle of the night yesterday, right? And like one of these guys, two of these guys, like they were clearly drunk, and they were like,
yeah.
"Yo, you should come over to my house. I got some beer if you want it, and I got some
Oh,
some weed." And thinking this was 12:30 a.m., like
yeah.
middle of the night. I mean, I was trying to play it cool, so like I told them I don't drink and stuff, and then yeah,
Yeah.
they were trying to convince me, but you know, didn't really work.
Yo, man, I
Yeah,
realistically
crazy
believe
hangover
like
today morning, bro. Wait,
yeah,
what?
that's right. Bro, where you live, like it being like borderline the hood, I
It,
would
it,
bet
it is the
once
hood. It is the
sundown,
hood.
it is the hood, man. Like once sundown hits, I'm not stepping out, bro. Like even if you say like, yo, your parents are being held hostage outside, I'd be like, Kalas, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Like I won't be stepping out, like, cause it's hella risky, man. They're like, cause things like those kind of guys, like they may just be like waffling, no pun intended, but like
Yeah.
they could also sometimes mean harm, right? And like the part about it that's like risky is like you don't know if you don't
My
know
bad.
if they do mean harm or not, right? So you kind of just have to like play by ear and then see if you can like get out of the situation. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
going back.
in this scenario, like I knew it was like pretty safe because like he lives in the neighborhood, right? And like
Yeah,
I've seen him before. Like back when I was a kid, like a lot of like the kids in the neighborhood we used to bike together. So
mhm.
like that guy also had a bike and he used to like come bike with us.
Yo,
He used to
is
offer us beer as
oh,
well. We were underage and he used to offer us beer back then as well. Like offer us a
bro,
smoke. He was always like that. But like
you might have to call the cops on that, bro. Like,
yeah,
that's
but
crazy.
but yeah, my neighborhood's pretty messed up because I mean I've seen like literally this street right here, like behind this window, I've seen a bunch of like SWAT cars just parked
Mhm.
up, like blocking the entire road one night. Like that was
No,
pretty
man.
it's pretty scary. But yeah,
I'm
back
still
to
I'm
back
still
to your
I'm still traumatized when we did outreach in your neighborhood. I thought I was gonna
uh
like die 5 times, man. But yeah,
yeah,
so
that's the neighborhood the SWAT cars were at. But yeah, back
yeah,
to your forest story.
Yeah, so I won't mention the whole like thing once I was close to my gym, but the police car, right? So I remember this if I'm recalling correctly. So I finished my work. I came back from like Aurora that day, right? And I was like I came back home, parked my car. And normally what I would do is I'd park my car, get on my bike, and then get on my bike or walk. I think today I was walking. I would walk from my home. We had a forest path that took us all the way from my house to one of the neighborhoods that would basically be like near my gym, right? Like it would be like from my house to the forest, forest to the nearby neighborhood through a shortcut to like one of the main roads, and then the main roads to my gym, right? It would cut down my walk by like almost 15-20 minutes. So I would always take this road. If I was biking, it would be like a 20-25 minute bike ride. If I was walking, it'd be like a 30-45 minute walk,
Wait,
right?
you
So
walk like that far to the gym every day?
well, like where it is like whenever I used to take my car, like the last 2 years I've just taken my car and that was like almost just 10 minute drive.
Oh, okay.
Right. But like because it's like two main roads. But then if you're trying to cut straight through, it's a lot, right? It's a deep
And you gotta
walk.
walk through the
So
forest. Like, is it like a packed forest or like is just like a couple trees here and
uh
there? Like, well,
no, no, it's definitely like it's packed, but it's like a small forest. Like I've seen deers, I've seen like rabbits and
like
coy
does it get
wolves in
like
the
pitch black at night or like it's not that kind of forest or like
no, no, it's not that kind of forest. But like it's like for me, like I would deem it to be more on the wilder side, right? Because again, there's like coy wolves, there's deers, then you have like your normal like skunks, rabbits, all those like toads. I saw a snapping turtle in
wait,
there
what?
once.
Wait, is there a
Yeah,
lake nearby?
no, it's a creek. It's a creek
Oh,
that
okay.
flows. And so, yeah, so I was walking through this path, right? I leave my house, I walk through the forest. The forest takes about 10-15 minutes of my whole walk. And I'm walking, and legit, like, not even entering into the forest, I see a cop car on the other end of this path. Now, the path is enough for like two bike riders, right? It's not a big path, right? You got trees on your left, you got trees on your right, and you got this path in the middle. And the last thing I just
Is it like a paved road or is it just like dirt?
no, it's paved. It's paved. It's
Okay,
it's a paved
so it's
road.
like an
So
actual like walkway. It's not. It's like a. So it's a trail.
yeah, it's
Oh,
a
okay,
trail. Like
okay.
it's meant to just like connect like the neighborhoods that's surrounding this like little like strip of forest area,
All
right?
right, I get the picture
Um,
now. I get the picture.
yeah, but like the last thing you would expect to see there is like a whole car, right? Like you would see like people maybe on e-bikes or maybe on scooters or like bicycles or whatever, right? But like you wouldn't expect a whole car to come to this pathway. So I'm walking there and like in like the far end of the forest, I see like a cop car driving towards me, right? Really slow. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. So I stand my ground. I go to the side of the walkway and I'm like like waiting for them to drive past me. They come up to like I think almost 4 or 5 meters from where I am, and they stop the car. Like, am I like still in the way, or like are they just like waiting for me to cross them? So I start walking, and one of the like cop cars, like guy, opens up the door, and he's just like, "Sir, can you just stand in front of the police car for a bit?" Right? I'm like, "Oh, that's weird." Right? So I'm like, "Okay, fine. I'll stand here." And like they sit in their car for like 2-3 minutes, and one of the guy comes out and says, "Hey, you're currently being detained for a little bit. There was just an incident nearby that basically uh, your camera's still on, by the way.
Yeah, I know. What?
Okay, I was like, okay, yeah, but yeah, it's like there was an incident nearby, and you fit the description, right? And like what I was wearing, I think was like my maroon hoodie from my university. Uh, I think like these pink shorts. And my shoes, right? And so like that's a pretty wild fit. A maroon sweater, pink short, and shoes. I'm like on a normal day basis, who do you see that's 6'1", wears a maroon hoodie and pink shorts and walks in a forest? But I'm like, sure, you know what? Fine. I asked him what was the description, and they said I asked them what the question was, or what the description was, and they said, "Oh, it's just like a 6 foot brown dude wearing a maroon hoodie and shorts." So I was like, "I'm wearing pink shorts."
That's gotta be cap. They probably
Yeah,
just made
right.
that up, bro.
They were just like, "Well, I don't know," but like they were just like, "Hey, like there was something that happened nearby, and like the person ran through this direction." right? And I was just like, I guess. So I'm standing there for like 4 or 5 minutes. They're like, they go back in the car, they come out, and then they like legit at some point they like make me put my hands on the hood and pat me down and check my gym bag and everything. And I'm like, this is hella weird, right? And so this is just like, I'm like, this is just hella weird. And
Yeah, just continue, continue. Don't mind.
yeah, I was like, this guy, your little brother's a little annoying. Okay, but yeah, so I'm like, it's just a little bit more like I just didn't expect to see a cop car there, right? So then they pat me down, they wait like 2, 3 more minutes, and they're like, you know what, it's fine, you're good, you don't fit the description, and then they let me walk. So then I continued towards the gym, and then like there was other stuff that happens towards the gym, but it just wasn't like another. Yeah, this guy, bro. All right, hey Twitch. Hey, Nueteron stream, how's y'all doing? How's y'all days? Let me see. Um, Not really a streaming personality. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? So cool. Oh man, I think it's holidays for most of like the students now, right? I guess high schoolers still out of school for like 2 more months. But how has school been? I know I can't get any feedback, but thought I would ask you. You know, even though it's a stream, a two-way conversation is always important. So it's just important to ask how your day is. Have y'all been liking Nueteron stream? Big fan of Mr. Neutron. And going back to the whole police situation, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, saying that I did match the description. Um, Again, looking back into it, I think it's all just waffle. I think it was just a whole lot of like, this kid may have found us in the forest, maybe doing something that we weren't supposed to. So, let's just scare him a little bit and tell him that we're detaining him so that he doesn't really like try and like look into this too much, and then just let him on his way. I feel like that's what the most probably happened, because if you did have someone that walked in the forest, why would you not call for backup and kind of just close down all the possible exits, right? Because where I live, like the police station is like not too far away actually, and so they could very easily get squad cars out to just block all exits of the forest. It's like maybe 4 or 5, whatever. And so just yeah, maybe I was racially profiled. But yeah, anyways, it just wasn't a cool experience, but it's something that I like talking to people.
Jones,
Yo,
can you
this
go up?
Neuron and his younger brother. Let me tell you guys something about him. What a waste. I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah. So going back to
So basically, my dad's at like the store, right? And like one of those like salesmen from like Rogers was like, "I can get you a deal, 1 gigabit." Dude, I'm not gonna get the deal if you do this. If you actually do any of this for the rest of the day, you're not getting it.
That's
I'm,
going to give the deal.
yeah,
You're
too bad.
not
I can
getting-
convince him not to. I can easily convince him not to. I'm the only reason he's getting it, by the way. Yeah, a 1 gigabit internet, which is pretty crazy, and like
yeah.
it has like pretty far of a radius. She said like
1 gig,
very
bro, that's
dude. I'm not gonna get it if you
crazy.
keep yelling. Yo, shut up. It's like low ping, whatever. Like how like
Yeah.
it's not like I don't know. It sounded too good to be true. And
Wasn't
cameras as
there
well,
this
doorbell camera too, for $45 a month.
damn. No, that's actually good, but like
That's
what's their
insane.
catch? 'Cause I feel like their catch may be like
There's a
if
2 year
their radius.
contract,
Oh, okay.
but
Okay,
that's
that's
not
not
that
bad.
bad.
I thought your little brother is getting like a good phone deal or something. I don't
No,
know why
it's
he's
it's a
going towards
wild
the
dude. That's
envelope.
actually insane though. Like 1 gigabit internet. Like I can send you the. I don't know. I can try to get the number for you if you want.
No, no, no. It's like, bro, I think like right now I have like again 55 like Mbps, right?
Yeah.
Like I do not get a lot of read and write. One
Imagine
gigabyte.
getting a gig though. That's
Oh,
crazy.
you'd be solid for the internet. I think like honestly, if your dad can get that deal, and then send me the
Oh
the
yeah,
salesman,
sure, for sure.
maybe I can talk to my dad
Okay.
because I think like we're on this like we're still on Bell, but like oh man, the internet's
Yeah.
sometimes
This
goes
for
down
Rogers,
bad.
by the way. So
I know,
I
I know.
mean the reason. Okay, back to like what we were talking about earlier, like about Rogers. We
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Yo, Joe. All right. Yeah. Back to like now that we're connected to back to Rogers, because this is a Rogers deal. I feel like they're bringing in all these like
Mhm.
crazy, too good to be true deals
Promotion.
because of that event, and
They're
like
trying to like pull up their reputation again,
yeah,
right? Like no, 100%, man.
dude, that
Like
day was actually kind of insane. Like everything was done. That was the first day I've ever used the ATM, because my your cards didn't work. Credit cards, debit
oh
cards didn't
yeah,
work.
yeah.
You
Because
couldn't
credit
pay
cards
for
don't have
anything, and I
anything.
don't carry cash. I never carry.
Yeah,
I only started carrying cash after that.
yo, I think like so. I have so much to talk about in this scenario because I recently switched to
Wait,
Freedom
wanna finish the original thought first, and then we can get back to this.
for Rogers.
No, the forest.
Least. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I was just telling the stream like I looking back into it, it was probably definitely racially profiled because
100%, bro.
this was a reason they said like there was like a 6 foot brown dude with like a maroon sweater and shorts that ran this way. I'm like, one, what like bro? He didn't even mention the shorts because he knew he couldn't get away with it because I was wearing pink shorts, maroon sweater and pink shorts, right? Like who the hell wears that on broad daylight committing a crime, right? And anyways, and the second one is like. If he ran into the forest, like where I live, the police like headquarters is not too far away, right?
Yeah.
And so like they could have very easily got like 4 or 5 like squad cars to block away most of the exits, right? And so like I don't know why they didn't do that. So like you know what, give them the benefit of the doubt because they didn't like physically harm me or anything, right? But at the same time, I think I was definitely like the fact that they like patted me down, told me that I fit the description, kept me there for 15 minutes just to tell me that I like not to worry, then leave. I feel like it was like a scare
Like, what
tactic
did they
because
say when they let you go? Like, they just like
they were just like, oh, like we got clearance, you're good to go, stay
they didn't
safe.
contact you after that or like anything?
No, no. That was just like a one and done situation. But at the same time, like, why would they be there, right? Like, you also gotta understand, like, this path that like where I was walking through, like where they came from, was coming from the like where my middle school was, right? So like that means they had to go through my middle school and like go through that little like backyard space. Like again, a lot of weird points and factors to it, but yeah, I was just like that kind of deterred me from taking my bike or walking to the forest. And ever since then, for the last 2 years, I've been driving to the gym, and I've just recently started
Wait,
riding my
how
bike.
long ago was this?
Summer of 2022.
Okay, okay. So this is like
So
around the same time as the Rogers incident, right? That was
uh
2022, isn't it?
yeah, I think the Rogers incident was also summer of 2022, and that was like I think it was like I want to say early May, maybe like June, just because of like I remember the funeral was that same day, so I'm trying to remember when the funeral was, but like it was definitely like early May June time,
Yeah.
right? Because it was so fresh. And like, yeah, going back to Rogers, I think this is a good like promotion because they got the money, right? They can kind of like undercut a lot of the providers, like their big competitors like Bell, Freedom, Telus, Virgin, because they got a lot more like income. I think their biggest
Yeah.
competitors would be Bell. And I don't think Bell would be undercutting their prices because again, their internet,
They have nothing to
uh,
lose. Like they don't
right?
really. They're not trying to
And
gain anything. Like Rogers, they lost a lot of like trust. The PR just like a disaster. Like
oh,
they're trying
it,
to get
it, it
that trust back.
it dipped hella hard. I was looking at the stocks for Rogers like that day just was not fun for them. And
Yeah.
like for Bell, like I'm looking at their like deals right now, like it's definitely like your normal scale, like for like 60-70 bucks a month, like you get like really good like internet, like fiber optic internet, right? And so like they're not bad. I think that's what the standard is, but like 1 gigahertz or gigabyte internet for like 45 bucks, I think like that's like a Rogers stunt move to like really
Yeah.
start pulling back their customers, which is like
And but the
kudos to
thing
them.
is, like they're not giving this out to like everybody. Like they don't advertise these deals on their websites. It's more
Yeah.
like under the line deals. Like their salesmen would like go to like certain spots. Like yesterday, we had like a Telus guy go door to door and like give us like under the line deals, like stuff you couldn't
Mhm.
find on their website. But you could only get it if you get it with them, like in that day itself. Otherwise, you're not gonna
Yeah.
get it ever again. So, but like
Yeah.
I don't know how sketchy that is. Like, and like the guy yesterday, like the guy that was going door to door, right? I asked him for like the because he was writing all the information down on a piece of paper, right? I asked him if I can get that so I can like think it over and stuff, and he said that he wasn't allowed to give it because like he might get in trouble for giving this deal out. So I don't know
Yeah.
exactly like what's going on here. Like if like the higher ups like are aware of like these deals going on, or like if it's just like these like smaller managers. Like I don't know exactly how they're pulling this off, but there's something sketchy going on for sure.
Yeah, I think it's also like a marketing move, right? Like, I don't think it's like necessarily the higher up. It's definitely more like a divisional decision,
Yeah.
right? But like, let's say you have like 100 people, and like 99 people are using your normal monthly payment, and like one person uses like a little under the monthly payment because you like went out and one on one reached out to the person, they accepted the deal. You're still making a bank,
Exactly.
right? You're still making revenue, but like you've definitely secured that one customer in there,
Yeah,
right?
and
So it's not,
those like under the line like X special deals are usually like contracts, so you're kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
locked in for like multiple years at a time, like you
yeah,
can't get
and
out.
like that gives them the ability to like just kind of work with their revenue. I'm pretty sure like everyone does it. Bell does it,
Yeah,
Rogers does it, like you said, Telus does it. So it's not really something that's like illegal or like a
yeah, but
business
like I just find it like
compromising.
weird that the guy said like he's not allowed to give it to like the give it to me because he might get in trouble for giving out these deals. I don't know exactly what he
Well,
meant by that. Like that was kind of just odd.
it could also be like if he gave you the flyer and then like you call Bell, right? Let's say you're like a current Bell like carrier,
Yeah.
right? And they give you this pamphlet. You call Bell and like, yo, I got a deal from like so and so. They gave me this pamphlet. It's saying that I'll get like 1 gigabyte internet for like $45. Can you guys beat this price? And then Bell goes, hey, can you send us that pamphlet? And you send in the pamphlet, and now Bell has that. They now have secret information on these carriers, right?
No, the thing
So
is,
it's
there
kind
was
of,
no pamphlet. He literally wrote it down on a piece of paper with a pen, like in front of us.
oh, okay,
So
okay.
like it
Even
was there was
even
no
then, like,
like physical like proof of that deal existing except for in his brain and like in my memory, and like unless I wrote it down, there's no way for me to remember every single part of that deal.
yeah, deal, yeah, yeah. I feel like because I know like when you're doing like business practices, like even a deal over a handshake, or even
Yeah,
like a deal written on like a paper towel or anything like that, like it's still considered like a contractual deal if you shake hands over it,
yeah,
right? So like realistically, you don't need a signature. Like if both parties says, "Hey, I'll give you this internet for like $10," and you say okay, and you both shake hands, boom, you've entered that contract with these guys, right? So like from a competitive point of view, like anything that will like give their competitors an insight to like their marketing strategy is not good for like whoever it is that's coming out with these promotions, right? So I just feel like he was just trying to cover his own like end to
yeah,
make sure that
100%.
like no one
Like
is like,
okay, I don't think
yeah.
that this guy in particular was a like a scammer, but have you gotten like scam calls, like phone calls?
Oh, 100%
Like from
Rogers.
people saying that yeah, like have you got like from like he's usually okay, not trying to be racist, but 99.999% it's a guy with an Indian accent claiming that he's from Rogers and he's gonna give you the deal of your lifetime, like $10 a month for the latest iPhone with a case. Like okay, I wasted this one guy's like time for like an hour because I was walking around outside, right? And because obviously like I don't want to let him scam another person, so might as well mess with him a little bit. So I just kept dragging it on and on to see how far he would go with the deal, and this guy was willing to give me, well, obviously willing
Yeah,
to give me like an iPad Pro with the case on it, an iPhone at the time it was the 14 Pro that came out, so 14 Pro Max with the case, AirPods, an Apple Watch, and like the cell phone plan, obviously like 100 GB or whatever, for like I think he said like $50 a month.
that's crazy. I wish I
That,
took that deal, bro.
but obviously it's a scam. But have you ever
Yeah,
like gotten those calls?
I've never entertained it because like the thing is like sometimes I want to like try and just mess around with scammers, but at the same time, like because it's not something that I do like every single day, like I don't know what the limit is where like I may go too far and like they may get all my information, right?
Oh
But like I
yeah,
know the number of times where like I've like gotten
bro. But
text from like
they're in Hyderabad,
callers,
bro. What are they gonna do? They're
everything, bro. 90% of the people that get wired their accounts and like get hacked into their credit and social security, like banking accounts and everything, like that's all from like guys who are like in Hyderabad and like India, bro. Like people who say that they're from California or from Illinois, but instead they're like across the ocean, just kind of like wiring money from us, man. Like that's how it is, man. Like I remember I was watching a documentary and they're like sometimes they won't even like tell you to give your details, they'll just keep you on the call enough for them to like start getting files from whatever device you're like bringing the call in, and they start bringing the information and they start like that's how they wire. It's dangerous, man. Like some of
I
these
don't
guys are
think
like
that's gonna. I don't think that really works like that. I'm not sure if they can
not
get your
for
device's files from a phone call.
100% they can.
I
100% they
don't.
can. Like, all it
How?
is because your device has a specific ID, right? And so if they have a way, like this is not something that's
But
like
it's your
across the
SIM
board.
card that's contacting them, not your
Yeah,
phone.
but your
So
SIM
your
card is
SIM card is not
connected to a
connected to
phone's
any of the
ID.
files on your phone.
No, not files, but it's connected to your device ID. Like if you're calling off an iPhone 15 Pro Max
Yeah.
and you have a SIM card on there, whoever it's connected to, like if they wanted to dive deep into it, they could see that this SIM card is connecting and calling from an iPhone 15 Pro Max. From there, it's only like a matter of having the knowledge of how to access that phone in that ID because your phone
It's
is
dude.
dedicated to a specific like
You can't
address.
really get into iPhones like that.
100% you can, bro. I
It's
guarantee
not
you there's
easy. It's
people.
not easy. Like
I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying like it's definitely something that is 100% possible. Like out of every scammer in India, I'm not saying like everyone will be able to get your location, right? But
yeah, getting a
if you
location is pretty easy. If you know the
yeah,
phone
but
number,
like
you can get the you won't be able to get the pinpoint location, but you can get the general location. Like even with your phone number, right? I could this is like yellow pages and stuff. You can
mm,
just put your phone number in there and find your general location of your like house,
yeah, yeah. I'm saying like
like
that's what
your
like
postal code. Like it's
most
not that hard.
most Indian scammers like that's what they'll only work on the surface, right? And the only way they can access your like personal information is by like you giving it to them, right? But I'm guaranteeing you, there's people out there, right? With the not all they need is like one set of number, right? Whether it's connecting you to your SIM card or you connecting to your personal phone, and from there they can legit strip you down of everything you have, right? Which is why like they even though your phone has like Apple, like your Apple Wallet and like TD Bank and everything, or RBC or Triangle, whatever like bank system you use, like even though it has all of that on it, right? Like there's special individuals who go out of their way to take it out of people's account. Like again, this isn't your like average like Rogers employee or like your duck cleaning guys or like whoever it is that like scam calls, right? But like these are recorded events that happen of people
Yeah.
like seemingly picking up a call, not hearing any voice, trying to figure out what happens, and then they cut the call and all of a sudden like their big information is just like starting to be like taken out, and they're starting to like see false identity, and they're starting to see like stuff being taken out of their accounts. Like this is stuff that happens most likely, like it happens more so to like the older generation,
Yeah,
but it can happen
dude.
to us, right? like
Even but
like
like
we're
nowadays, like these scams are being more and more realistic. That it's even affecting like millennials and
no yeah yeah
like
yeah yeah
even like people our age too. Like I've heard of like instances that has happened. Like someone like I know like they got offered a job at I think it was like an orphanage or whatever, and
mm-hmm.
like he had to get gift cards to deliver to them, and then this guy he didn't actually so he got the gift cards, right, and he was gonna give it to the scammers. At that point they'll take the money, but
Yeah,
before he did that he kind of got like I don't know how he didn't realize that before he bought the gift cards, but after he bought the gift card, he kind of saw that it was a little bit fishy, so he didn't actually give the money over. But once it
yeah.
was in gift card form, he can't turn it back into cash. So he was
No,
kind of stuck with I think like $400 of just gift cards, and he had to like
oh my.
give it away and like get the money back. Like it was a mess.
Yeah, man, like it sucks that there's people that have this ability to like work with like what seemingly new knowledge, right? Like coding and like software is all technically in like the grand scheme of like everything, like where you have civil or mechanical or industrial like evolution. Like coding is so new, and you have people who know how to work with it, and they're like misusing it for evil. And that's like, I guess with any industry, you always have your bad apples, right? But it just sucks that like the repercussions of like the bad apples in coding is so bad that like people sometimes lose their livelihood,
Yeah,
right?
like
It's
it could
like,
be really bad. Like you could lose everything. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't think getting into an iPhone is as easy as you think it is. Like I'm pretty sure like an iPhone is pretty much bulletproof, unless it's like you're really that advanced. It's 99. I would say 99% because it's one of the most secure phones on the planet. Like it's nothing compared to Android. Android is a lot easier to get into, especially like these like the smaller Androids. Maybe like a Pixel and like Samsung would be a little bit harder. But since it is all running on Android, it's still a lot easier to get into than iPhone because it's Apple's own software, right? Like it's
yeah,
iOS. Like nobody else has access to that. Like let's say like for example you forget your password, right? You can't get in. Even Apple can't get into that. Like Apple can't even. I remember like there was something that like I heard on like an article or something where there was just like a terrorist or whatever, and the government was trying to get into that person's phone, right? And they were trying to get Apple to get into it, and Apple refused because of they're trying to keep their like what is it, promises of privacy. So
yeah.
I don't think it's as easy to get into an iPhone as you may
No,
think.
I'm not saying it's easy. Like, I'm not saying like someone will wake up one day and just like say, "Hey, I'm gonna
Hacking.
hack into this guy's iPhone." No, no. But like, I
Like even Macs for
definitely
that matter.
believe,
I don't have an antivirus on it. I've like never had any issues, but on Windows, that's kind of like the first thing you get.
yeah, yeah.
Do you have
Like
an antivirus?
I have an
Yeah,
antivirus on my computer, 100%. But like even still, like again, I'm not saying like there's levels to this, right? But out of everyone in the world who can code and know like how to hack, there's a very select few that can definitely hack into your iPhone.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's
Right?
super rare. And even if they have those skills, I don't think they'll be using that to for malicious intent. Because if you're that good, why would you be hacking into a random guy in Canada to get like what $1,000 maybe? You could get into the government and like get like nuclear launch codes and that stuff at that point.
Yeah, but if
If
you
you're
know you
that
hack into
good,
the government and get your nuclear test codes, right? You have the whole government looking for you. You get $1,000 from like 10 people, you've made
Joe
10K, and
Schmo,
these ten
yeah.
people, and ten
No, or
people won't
you
like.
can hack into companies and stuff like big companies remember GTA GTA 6?
Got leaked. Yeah, 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 yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
that
that.
was a kid. That was I think it was like 17, 16 or something. He got like a bunch of like their like test files and like a lot of it got leaked. The only
Yeah, and he
reason we
got.
have GTA right now is because of that kid. Let's be
And,
honest. They would have
and the
deleted it
thing is,
even more.
and even when he got banned from using like any phone at all, he went to a hotel, got into a TV, and then again data leaked them from like a TV from a hotel.
Yeah,
Like,
Amazon
how do you
Fire
do?
Stick. He used an
Yeah,
Amazon
yeah,
Fire
yeah,
Stick.
yeah. I'm
That's
like, how do you do
insane.
that? How do you do that? But that's what I mean, right? Like, again, I'm not saying like Apple's on the same level. Like, Apple could be having a harder security or a firewall, right? But the fact that a kid can plug in a Fire Stick into a random TV in a hotel and hack into one of the biggest like gaming like companies, Rockstar, right?
Yeah,
Bro,
it's pretty
like
crazy.
that's crazy, man. That's a 16-year-old. Now think of like what a 33-year-old with the same like advanced mindset can do if he wanted in like companies that he knows how to get into, right? Again, I'm not saying it's easy and I'm not saying it's like the most common, but it's definitely like an idea. It's definitely something that like exists, but we just don't know because we're so far removed from that area. Like you ever watch the show Mr. Robot?
I have not. It's on my list though. Like I haven't seen it. But I know what it's about. Like
Yeah, it's on Prime Video. It's about this guy that like works for like a data security company, and like he wants to like bring down Big Brother, and like then he gets recruited by like a group of people that wants to hack this company and like data leak just so that like they get ruined. And there's like a whole, it's this whole like I think like four
but
or five
he's a
seasons.
good hacker though, right? Like or is
He's
he
a good
he's
he's
a
a
white
good
hacker?
hacker. But there's a like a twist, but like
Oh, don't
Uh,
spoil it then. If there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
twist.
I don't want to say, it, but like it's fun. It's fun. Like all it is about like hacking into in the show one of the biggest data security companies like in the USA, right? And like it's so interesting to watch it because a lot of the information that they talk about, like yeah, it's ideology, right? But it's stuff that's just like it's very very comparable to like businesses we have in like Silicon Valley and like all that, right? Like it's something you can't hack into just right away. But if you look at the principle, someone with the capabilities can definitely execute what's being shown in the shows.
Yeah,
Right,
100%.
that's hella scary to think about the fact that like North America is right now on a chokehold by having one of these in their
Technology,
army,
yeah. Like
right? And like one person, if they wanted to, could absolutely do big damage, right?
that's a
Very big.
good pivoting point to go back into that original point, right? Like if technology was to not be available, like Wi-Fi, internet, all these technology was not available to us, do you think like it would be possible to survive at that point for a lot of people? Cuz
Bro,
okay,
I mean,
let me put this into perspective. There's this, I don't know if you've seen this movie. It's called Leave the World Behind. It was on Netflix.
I haven't, no.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but like the basic synopsis of it is that it's like a post-apocalyptic world, right? Where a bunch of hackers, you don't really know who did it, who's behind it or anything, but they just get into everything. They like blow up like the nuclear power plants. They hack into Teslas, make them jam up the road so people can't leave the cities. Make them like crash into each other. So
Mm.
and then like take out all the Wi-Fi, and then they use like some kind of like high frequency noise to like basically like deafen people, and just bunch like cyber attacks against the
Yeah,
whole entire country. And it's really scary. Like even though like it's not like monsters or anything, like if you think about post-apocalyptic like movies and stuff, it's like zombies, monsters, like radioactive like fallout, stuff like that. But this is like something that could possibly happen in real life. That's what makes it like actually scary. Because like if all
100%.
the technology was to just turn on us, what would happen?
We're screwed, man. Like how much the thing is, right? Like we used to be hunter gatherers,
Yeah,
right? Like through like where like humans started off. Like we used to be hunter gatherers, and so like where we are now is like I could wake up and go to sleep, and everything that needs to be done could be automated, right? And there's people that like, let's say internet closes down, right? What alarm is waking you up, right? How are you going? What news are you getting? How do you know what's happening outside your
you
house,
can't get around the
right?
city.
what what food are you buying, right? Like you can't use your credit card. What food are you cooking? You can't use recipes, right? Like what are you watching? You don't have entertainment. Where are you like working out? Your doors don't work because there's no internet and they've all closed down,
You can't
right?
buy
Every
anything. Your money's useless at that point.
legit like
Wait,
everything
can I ask you a question
in
real quick? How
yeah.
like do you carry cash at all? Like do you have cash?
I used to have it like a decent bit of cash, but I think right now, no, I don't.
Not at all. So like if all Wi-Fi was to go out, you would pretty much have
I'll be done
nothing.
for. I'll be done for. I'll be done for.
I got like
I
20 bucks in cash. That's it. If I don't
I
have
don't.
Wi-Fi, only thing to live off of is 20 bucks. That's
Yeah, man.
scary to think about.
And like, what are you gonna do? Go to the bank and be like, "Hey, my account has so much money,"
Well, guess what? The
right?
bank is
Like,
down too.
yeah, like they're not gonna be able to access it, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's like right now, like because you don't have feasible like materialistic cash, everyone's living on this like virtual, like even though it's like real physical cash, like they're living on virtual cash,
it's virtual cash.
right? And so like, bro, I'm going out there. I've worked 10 hours in a day. I've made so and so money. I go outside and I tap my credit card, and that money goes from my account to like this restaurant or supermarket. I have not seen that money physically, but somehow
Yeah,
I had it, and then
you
I
just
didn't have
trust
it.
it goes in. Like
Yeah, and so like when let's say like not even Wi-Fi, but let's just say like data transfer and data communication crashes, it's done, man. Like how do airplanes travel from place to place, right? How do you have like cars and traffic signals work? How do you have businesses talk to each other, especially if they're dealing with like international countries, right? How are you dealing with police and intercoms? How do firefighters know that there's a house that's on fire, right? Like there's everything right now is so digitalized,
and
right?
automated.
That
I think that
and
that's like the
automated,
biggest like scariest thing, because
like
before like until now, a lot of technology like even in, like even if there was no like Wi-Fi or stuff, you could still use it somewhat. But now that it's automated, like cars, Teslas, for example, now that like it's automated, right? Like if someone were to like get in, like it's pretty much done for. Like, but before the cars, the only way to drive the car is with you in it, manually driving the car. But now you don't need to be in the car to be doing anything with it. Like that's kind
Yeah,
of scary.
and
And
like
if someone wants to stop you from driving your car, they could do that. They could just shut your car down.
100%. And like it's crazy because like people say like, oh, if you had a World War III, it'd be like a nuclear world war, right?
Ah, yeah,
But then
cyber
like you
attacks,
had,
bro.
yeah, you had to be smart about it because like why would someone go, okay, we have a war, we're going to use our strongest weapon to absolutely wipe out like 90% of civilization. What economical benefit does that have, right? You got to start thinking like a politician, right? Maybe you use a biohazard, right, or a biovirus, like maybe like I feel like that's something more like the eastern side of the world, like Russia, China, maybe like a couple of these other like countries, maybe Europe would use, right? But like if you really want to think about how to do World War III properly, it's cyber attack. It's easily
The
cyber attack.
best way to
It's
break a country down is from the inside. It's not from an outside attack. It's from an inside,
yeah,
like crumbling it, imploding it. Like if
yeah,
with
man, and
cyber
like
attacks, that's like you could do that and not even know who did it.
yeah,
Like
man, and like
if Russia sent a nuke, right? You know that Russia sent a nuke. But if they were to launch a cyber attack, it's gonna take a long time to trace it back to them. And
yeah,
sometimes, if
like
they're really good, it would be impossible to trace it back to them, and it would just kind of like implode the country on its own.
easily, easily, and like unlike like North America or like these big countries, right? Like a lot of these like smaller like European countries or underdeveloped countries or countries that are just starting to build their security, I guarantee you their like encryption firewall isn't as strong and could easily be like down. Like the people that go down the fastest, right? If World War III came, would be the ones that aren't as technologically advanced as like the big countries, and like the ones that will fall down the hardest are the ones that are the ones that like
Yeah,
are like the most like technologically advanced, because like once they fall, they're down, bro. They're down for the count,
because
right?
they
So like
rely on the technology so much that they can't live without it.
yeah, and like how do you break down a country from like doing anything? Stop their communication, reduce their communication, right? Like
Exactly,
how
break
are
it down from the
people,
inside.
right? And so like when bro, technology is like people don't realize it, right? But technology has such a grasp on us, right? I want people to like be able to take the time to just actively think whenever they use anything that has any type of like digital data transfer, right? Any, whether it's using like your phone or computer or like anything, like I want that each time a second goes by and they use something that uses like data transfer, I want them to like stop and take like a look at it, because I guarantee you a majority of the population now, 90% of their time is given to like digital tech,
Yeah, like
right?
even beyond that, like if you talk about even beyond like hacking and stuff, you don't even need to do any of that to destroy a country at this point. Because I mean, one of the arguments from the U.S. government is that China is like feeding like terrible brain rot into the economy by pumping it like trash content through TikTok and stuff. I'm not gonna say if that's like, I'm not gonna confirm or whatever, but like that was the U.S. like Senate's like main argument, is that like it's China like pumping in all this brain rot, and it is brain rot on the app. Like a lot of it is
Oh,
like stuff that makes you dumber. Like you watch it, like you feel your brain cells getting snapped away. Like it's insane. And like
yeah,
the kids nowadays, their attention spans are getting worse and worse like each generation. Like it's hard for people to like even have a conversation that, like, without going on their phone or whatever, like glancing at like the weather app. You see like people like trying to like talk to like girls or stuff, and then they just look at the calculator app, the weather
yeah,
app, just scrolling through. Like they can't even hold a conversation. Like that's how bad it is now at this point. And like you don't need to hack in, or you don't need to like get rid of their communication or anything. You can just like destroy their minds, like rot their minds
yeah,
with like garbage media.
yeah, man. It's like it's so bad because like ironically, kids nowadays like they walk around, they're like skibbity toilet, right? Like they're walking around, they're like, oh, it's funny, I see it on TikTok, right? But like, bro, kids nowadays do not have the coherent ability to think, to problem solve, to use their cognitive senses to look at a problem, look at multiple solutions, and then pick the most effective path, right? Like they just don't have that ability. And I'm like, this is kind of clear to me, right? When I recently went to see my physics prof from high school, right? And I graduated high school just right on that COVID crisp, right? So up until then, like my studying ability was still like very peak. And even after the fact, because I was able to get off on a good foot, I continued that throughout, right? It's been 4 years since I've seen him. I go back, right? And I'm looking at his class and like
Wait, you went
it's
in
it's
while the class is going on?
yeah, of course, bro. I'm like, I'm this guy. I'm his boy.
Yo,
I
you're
went
one
in
of
and
those kids. I remember back in high school, like you used to see like random like old ass guys just walk in and just like
yeah,
start talking to the teacher. Like you're one of those guys. Wait,
yeah,
how?
100%, bro. When I was in high school, like when I was in grade 12, I used to mark his grade 11 and grade 12 tests, except for
Wait,
my own paper, right? Like I was that good in physics where like he would, because in my time as grade 12, both my first period on both semesters were spares, right? So I had a whole morning where I just didn't have classes, so I'd go to him and just chill with him, right? We talk about a lot of things like Buddhism, Christianity. We talk about like nutrition and health benefits. We talk about like principles and like physics and like further studying, etc., right?
yeah.
And at some point really early on in my first semester in grade 12, he's just like, hey, if you're gonna stay here and like talk with me, do you just want to start marking the grade 11 tests? I'm like, sure, right? So then he gave me all of his grade 11 tests and I started marking those, right? And then when I got to my second semester, because I already finished my physics for the year, right, he would give me the second semester grade 12 test to me to mark, and I would
Like
mark
when
his
you were
grade
in grade
12
11.
when I was in grade 12. When I was in
Okay.
grade 12, right? This is like my final year, and like I finished taking physics, so I had no more like way of like manipulating the numbers, right? So he would
What
give
do you mean
me his,
manipulate the numbers? Wait, what?
like let's say if he gave me my test, I would definitely have biases to myself to be kinder, right? Like the way it outlooks is first semester I had physics, which was my last physics of high school, right? During that, I marked his grade 11 tests. And then in second semester, once I was done all physics, he gave me his second semester grade 12 like kids test to mark, plus his second semester grade 11 test to mark for physics,
So what did you mean by
right? So
bias? Like you're not marking your own tests though, right?
I'm not, but if I did, I would be biased to like give myself good marks,
Okay, okay.
right? So like he didn't do that, but like once I was done my physics classes and I had no more reason to like, try and get to mark my own test, he gave me the grade 12 test to mark. Anyways, so like me and him are close, right? So I'm going back to him and I'm open with him, like, has the kids gotten dumber, right? And he just like
Wait,
he
you
just
just straight up
feels
said that? Like just straight up like as the kids
100%.
gotten dumber? Like
Yeah,
in front
man.
of all
I'm
the kids?
100%, bro. Right?
That's
And
crazy.
and the thing is like this guy's open. He's just like, yeah, look at these kids, man. Like this is crazy to me. Like the amount of stupidity in this class is crazy, and I'm just like, because thing is like that's how physics is. You always have your handful of smart kids, and the rest are kind of like, you know what? I just hope you pass and then proceed from here, right? But like. But like I was talking to him after the fact, because like he's like, you know what, I still have to teach class. He teaches for like 10 more minutes, and then I sit with him for like an hour and a half, just like talking, right? And in that talk, he's just like, bro, kids have gotten like, it's not even the short attention span now. It's like in like the ability to not be able to process like problem solving that requires more than like 1 to 2 steps. Because in this day and age, anything that requires any kind of solution, you can get it in 1 to 2 steps. You need to solve a formula, put it in a calculator. You want to
AI.
gain information,
Literally
type it on
ChatGPT, bro.
Google, right? ChatGPT. You want to
Like
know
all these
information.
kids are so reliant on ChatGPT. Like even my brother, like he uses ChatGPT a lot. Like I try to tell him not to use it, but then like he still like uses it to like get the easy like answers in. And when you do
Yeah,
that, you don't think for yourself. You're letting the AI think for you, and then further down the line, we're just gonna end up like the people in Wall-E. We're just
yeah,
gonna be
100%, man.
mindless zombies, just
Sitting
being
on a
told what to
chair,
do.
getting,
Yeah.
yeah, getting
Like right
something
now,
like
we're
just,
telling AI what to do for us, but if we keep doing that, then at one point AI will be telling us what to do.
yeah, that's where smart homes and stuff like that gets in, bro. It's coming to a day and age where like you wake up and you're like, what's my schedule? You have a shower at 9 o'clock. You have a meeting at 10:30. You
Bro,
have
we're
a
just
phone
this
call with your
generation is
parents at like 11 o'clock, right? Like you have like people getting into this automated system where, like, again, if you don't have the ability to get a solution for more than like 2 3 steps, right, you just lose that cognitive balance, right? When we used to do essays, right, we would read the book, we'd go to like one literature like thesis, we'd go to a second like scholarly thesis, then we'd go through like bio notes and see like where we can get information from and be like, oh, this is what he's talking about, this is what he means here, and then make an essay out of that. Of course, we'd have our own way of cheating, right?
Yeah.
Easy, like we'd try to go
But
to
like
like spark,
when we used to cheat back in the day, like you used your brain more. So it's not like
like you
you're
still,
getting the answers for you. You're like getting like hints. Back then,
yeah,
cheating
right
was
now
getting hints, but nowadays cheating is just getting the entire thing written for you
it's just,
in
yeah,
like
it's just
a
getting
professional level.
like at this point I could legit go to chat GPT and think it's like people like, oh, chat GPT, they can tell when you like copyright it. Well,
Dude, they can't
duh,
tell. They
don't,
can't tell for.
don't.
Dude, they
No,
can't
no,
tell at
no, they
all.
can, they can, but like don't copy paste it. It's as easy as like, take, okay, write me an essay on the Book of Othello, on why Othello had portrayed chivalry, whatever it is, right? And ChatGPT gives you a whole essay. All you need to do is now look at that essay and then write what you got to write by paraphrasing that. You still create an original thought,
Yeah.
right? By using chat, like it's that simple.
But these kids
Then
are not using it like that though. They're going even lazier by taking that ChatGPT answer, putting it into another AI, which kind of just
paraphrase
changes
it,
it up.
yeah,
Yeah. So then
yeah,
it's untraceable. You can't tell if it's AI or not.
yeah,
And
and
I've
like
used these AI checkers, like try to see if it's accurate. 99% of the time, it's easily like you can trick it. Super easy.
yeah. And so like, bro, people like that's where we headed towards. So like that cognitive like balance, that cognitive ability to think is so like done. So when they go into now like going back to brain rot, right, it's 100% the reason. It's 100% the reason, right? Like I remember when I used to be a kid, I used to watch SpongeBob, and our parents used to be like, yo, this is like killing your like brain
Brain,
cells,
yeah.
like what are you guys watching? And you
SpongeBob
grow
is
up.
so SpongeBob is like Shakespeare to what's these kids are watching nowadays, like
Yeah,
Skibbity
yeah, yeah,
Toilet and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like, bro, that's just
Bro,
actual
every 5 months,
garbage.
every 5 months, bro. I remember when sorry, it's just a little sidetrack. When COVID started, there was this one Instagram account that would kind of put like a meme event for every single month, right? January would be the possibility of World War III. February
Oh
would
yeah,
be
yeah, I remember that.
like some kind of like event, right? So it got to a point, I was watching this close 2020, every 4 or 5 months you would get like a new event, right? Or a new meme. And then 2021, every 2 to 3 months, you'd get a new meme. And then 2023, every 1 month, you would get a new meme. At this day and age, I wake up and I look at TikTok, and there's apparently the whole world knows of a trend that I didn't know of. And then I go to sleep and I wake up the next day, and there's a whole new trend that people know of that I didn't know. Like the trends are coming by the second,
Yeah,
right?
but the
And
thing is, right? The trends are getting more frequent, but they're also getting lower in quality. Like in like
way low.
a couple of years ago, like 5 years ago, you used to get like a really good like 2 3 memes like every like 2 3 months, but they were like really good memes and they would last a while. They're not gonna die out really quick. Like you would still like hear about it for like another couple weeks, another couple months. But nowadays, like a meme pops up and it's gone the next day, and it's usually like really bad quality too. Like it's not even like it's just like funny for the sake of being funny. It's not actually funny. Like it's just
Yeah,
like
man. Like
randomness.
when the Harlem Shake came, right, bro? Gangnam Style, Harlem Shake. When I tell you these were memes that had the whole world by a chokehold, it legit was like the whole and Russia to the ends of Canada, right? Like
And it would
from end
last for months. Like it didn't just
months.
die out. It just
It was
kept
on
going.
YouTube Rewind. It was on like all of that, right? And that's why like YouTube Rewind is dying as well now because they just can't keep up with
Bro,
all these
it's dead.
changes.
They haven't had one in like 2 years.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
dead.
But
It's
like when it was at its peak, it had enough of an ability to like track these trends and then make a cool video, right? If YouTube wanted to do what it did back in like 2016, 2017 to same kind of replication of like good YouTube Rewind, bro, YouTube Rewind would be like 4 hours long or even more, right? Like they can't, it's so much they cannot conceptualize it into one
I
video,
think that's one of the
right?
reasons why I think what was it? Was the one that was like really bad? 2019, right? The one that
Oh,
got the most dislikes.
I think it was like the Will Smith one. Oh,
Yeah,
that's hot. Yeah, yeah,
2018,
yeah.
2019. I think the reason why that one failed so much was because they tried to cram in so much different stuff. Like there
So
was
much.
so much people in there, so many different like references, like songs, dances. Like it was just an overload of like bunch of like stuff, and like most people didn't even understand half of the references. But like
Yeah.
the ones from like 2017, 2016, like if you were like if you're like even like mildly watching YouTube, you don't even have to be watching YouTube. If you go to school, you would know every single reference that was in that video, like
Yeah.
at least majority of it. But like the last one, like half of the stuff was like foreign. Like
Yeah, man, and it's just like that's where this like world's going to, like it's getting shorter and shorter attention span, more and more demand for like constant change, right? And like it has so many implications. One, brain rot, your cognitive ability is going lower, because you're looking at all of these constant like short term dopamine like injectors, right? You can't get that same kind of happiness just accepting things for what they are. So you have a lot more like anxiety, a lot more depression. People are constantly wanting newer things. This is just this is outside of social media, right? Fashion. You want to keep changing fashion to be likable. You want to keep changing technology to be likable. You want to keep changing social media to be likable. You want to keep up with the trends, right? And when you don't, because human beings are not made to constantly be just absolutely just fed in all this information. When you don't keep up with it, right, you feel like you're not up to par, you feel like you're not like the center of attention, brings in anxiety, social anxiety, brings in depression, brings in a kind of like existential crisis to our generation. Right, that's why, like, bro, you think like people, our grandparents when they were younger, like, yes, they had their own stresses, but if someone came up to them and goes, "Oh, this guy, he doesn't know the most recent trend," right? That they would really take it to heart. No, they'd probably be going to tend to the fields and like taking care of their
yeah,
family and being the breadwinner. Like they don't care. Right? Now I come to you and I'm like, "Oh, look at your phone. It's like 2 years old."
it's cracked.
Bro, what is what does
My
that
screen
mean?
flashes. Oh no.
Yeah, what does that mean? It's 2 years old. Oh wow, it still works, right? Oh, your car, it's not the most like recent model of like the Honda Type R or like the Dodge or like the Ford. Oh, it's like 5 6 years old. So what? Right? People constantly try to make it such a thing where like if you do not keep up to the par, you're not worth it. And like the amount of implication that has on people's mentality is so high that like people start to substitute what they really need to be doing for what they think they should be doing. Oh, I should be trying to gain more followers and attention instead of actually putting their heads to the books and studying, or not even studying, but being able to better their financial status. Right? They want to go and like show people that they're experiencing the world, going from place, taking big pictures and videos, instead of being able to actually care for the people that is close to them and telling them that they love them, right? Like it's so like twisted nowadays, right? That it's just
It's
like
just fake. Like everything is just fake.
nothing has meaning
Yeah.
exactly, right? So it's
Like
just like
based on the like something I can like relate to is like as a creative, right? Like I would consider myself a creative. Like I feel like
mhm,
if I like the only way for me to get creative is to get bored. And the only way to get bored is to not have any technology around me. So if I'm trying to come up with ideas, like I don't like I try not to have my phone in the room and I try not to have my laptop in the room because if I have it, then I might like look up ideas or whatever, and then that will like bring me down a rabbit hole, like, and now be in like completely different topic, completely
yeah,
away from the goal. But if I'm bored, then I'm letting my mind like think and come up with new ideas, like fresh ideas that has not been done before, and like I can actually like use it properly. But
mm,
if you try to do that with like a phone or something in your room, like even like outside of like creative stuff, like if you're just trying to like enjoy time with somebody, like and you have your phone in the room, it's gonna get hard because like you get like a notification, you look over, and then you're showing each other like memes or whatever, and it just like takes away from like that connection that that we had before technology existed, and like that genuine connection doesn't exist anymore.
100%. Like even now, like I won't lie, like for me, I'm not tested for ADHD, but growing through my life, like I think it's
I
more
feel I feel
clear
like
as it.
everybody in our generation has like
Yeah, yeah,
self-diagnosed
yeah, yeah,
ADHD.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel the
yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
way.
But no, but that's what I mean, because like our generation was so fed in with like having to constantly like keep our eyes on the new thing. I think like even if it's self-diagnosed, if someone comes up to me and say like, "Hey, I haven't been tested, but I think I have ADHD," I would believe them. And
Yeah,
our kids,
I feel
especially
like
like the kids
we're just
nowadays,
like
like
this generation
100%.
is like by default they have like some
Yeah,
form
yeah,
of ADHD. Like they have lower attention spans. It's harder for them to focus. like all this stuff is like by default. Like it's not like a condition anymore. It's just like it's just how the humans are now at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like, bro, given the fact that like 90% of kids like adulting parenthood is their solution to like any kind of issue is slap an iPad or like a phone in
Exactly.
front of
I
their
was
face
about to
and they
mention
go and
that.
watch Cocomelon. Like bro, of course you people don't understand the first like year or even couple months of a toddler, a kid or a baby is so crucially influential to their brain development. You slap an iPad in front of their face, right? And they see Coco Melon, guess what's gonna happen? They want that constant like entertainment for the rest of their life, right? People like we look at animals, right? And we're like, oh, these animals are so stupid. A duck hatches out of its eggs, and the first animal that it sees, it just engraves into its brain that that's the mother, right?
Yeah,
Humans
it's the
aren't like
exact
that.
same for
Like,
humans too. Like
yeah, man.
at
Like
that
we
point, the
don't
kids are not being raised by their parents. They're being raised by the iPad. The
by
iPad is their
technology.
parent. Like you said, the duck hatches. First thing they see is what they claim to be their parents. But like these kids growing up, the first thing they see is their iPad or whatever, and they
Or
just
people
connected
taking a
it.
picture with their
Yeah,
phone or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
And then
yeah.
their parents are out of the picture, and then like when they grow up, their connection with their parents, their relationship is just trash. It just doesn't
Weaker and
exist.
weaker. Yeah, yeah.
And I think
And
like
like that.
yeah, I think I was gonna say like I think I'm happy that like I grew up in before like technology existed, but I'm super scared for when I have kids, cause like I don't know
100%.
how they're like I don't know how I'm gonna raise them in this world, right? Like it's gonna be really hard.
Man, like I'm taking care of this one kid in my church, right? And he's a smart kid, but like he has the again the same kind of like check marks, right? Like he has attention deficiency, he's not able to focus, he has a lot of energy, he wants to constantly like do
Do
things, he can't
something,
sit
yeah.
still, right? And the one thing that he's exceptionally good at is he could look at any iPhone from afar and tell you what exact model it is. He can differentiate an iPhone 15 Pro from an iPhone 15 Pro Max just by looking at it from outside. Tell me how that's possible. They're both 6.7-inch like phones, right? So like, bro, I remember when I brought my iPhone 15 Pro Max,
Okay,
right?
life flex, life flex.
He's sitting beside me, and I pull it out just to check the time, right? And then he looks through the phone and everything. He's like, "When did you get an iPhone 15 Pro Max?" I'm like, "Damn, man!" Like, and I
In
asked my sister, and
titanium
I'm
gray
like,
too, dang, with
"Yeah,"
250
and I
GB.
yeah, no, I kid you not, bro. I kid you not. This guy starts going into my camera and looking at the 5 time optical zoom, and I'm just like,
I didn't even know it had that. What the
right?
heck?
Because I'm like, bro, like these kids, their brains are changing at such a like insane speed. There's two problems. One, parents don't know what's happening because again their minds already developed. Most of these guys, especially in this generation who are turning into parents, they grew up in a non-technological era, and they're like kind of like transition parents. When they were younger there was no technology, but when they were older there was technology, so they understood how to handle it a bit
They're
more,
like the
right?
pioneers, like the first ones
Right,
to
and
have to go through this. I
yeah,
guess it
and
makes
so
it a little
like
bit easier for us when we're parents, but still, but when we're parents, technology is gonna be even to another level, so it
way
might be
more
even
else, like
harder.
our kids are gonna come back home and be like,
Skibbity
Nathaniel has
race.
he has the new the bionic eye that allows him to connect to all the servers of Minecraft in the world, and he can visually see himself being in Minecraft. Dad, can I have that, please? Right? And I'm gonna be, and then like I'm gonna try and like look at like what he's watching. His bionicle eye is gonna have like the lecture room in like a little corner of his like view, and it's gonna be like Minecraft for half the page, and like some guy running on like some app store game on the bottom of the page with like someone explaining the whole lineage of like the Roman Empire on the right side. Like there's so much that's happened. And the thing is,
I like how you thought that Minecraft would still exist because let's be honest, it probably will exist at that time.
100%, bro. I love
Still will be
Minecraft,
popular too.
but like I say this as a joke, but like I see like bro, when I was in second year, one of my roommates was like 2 3 years older than I am, right? I kid you not, I would walk into his room and he would have two monitors in front of him. One of the monitors would be his school stuff, the other monitor would be League, and in the bottom where his keyboard is, there'd be a YouTube video. Then he would have his
Damn.
iPad, right, with some kind of like what was it? Like some kind of like Twitter or Discord, like some kind of like I think it was Reddit, right? So you'd have
Ah,
one, two, three, four monitors with one, two, three, four different things, and he would be paying attention to all of them, bro.
I mean,
Like there's
I
definitely
don't think he would be. Like he's probably focusing on the league because I don't think it's possible for us to multitask like that. Like if he's focusing on league, he's not gonna be paying attention. Like he'll get like random like words here and there from the lecture, but he would not be able to
Mhm.
comprehend it. The comprehension
No, no, no.
level will be like very low. Like you would
He
not be able to
wasn't in the
understand.
lecture hall. He wasn't in the lecture hall. He was doing his like assignment
Oh, okay,
for
okay.
his course. Like he had a course, so he's like playing League. Every time he dies, you have like the 10-second like respawn time. So then
Yeah.
he's like focusing on an assignment. He's working, and then he respawns. He plays back to League, and he dies. And he's going back to his assignment. Then he's looking at Reddit. Then he's going back to League. Like he's like this is automated in his mind.
Like have you seen
And
those
like
like TikTok like they have like the Subway Surfers clip on the bottom with like the
yeah,
actual video at the
yeah.
top? Like
That's what I'm saying, like bro, and like because like technology and like all of this is getting to a point where if you look in the future it's being like more bionically integrated, right? You have contact lenses that could portray the whole world. You have the Apple Vision Pros. You have like gloves that you could try and like just play around
the
with, right?
the the
Like
mind thing. What is it called? Elon Neuralink.
Neuralink, yeah. Like
Control
bro,
laptop stuff with your mind. Like that's
it's
the end time stuff. You know.
yeah, like it's to a point where like anything and everything that could possibly be looking at the real world can be subsidized by like a virtual substitute, right? And it's just like it's
Yeah, you
so
got virtual
absurd.
girlfriends, like virtual friends, virtual money,
Virtual
virtual
drip,
like real estate. Wait,
yeah,
what did you say?
man.
Virtual what?
Virtual drip.
Yeah, virtual
So
drip,
my look at my fear of God like
hollow gear,
digital
like
phone. Oh man, but like we laugh about it, but like it's like we're gonna look like go like 20 years in the future, and we're gonna look back and we're like, damn,
that's it's a
right? We called it,
reality.
right?
It's a reality.
Right. And so like when
I mean, it
when
already exists at this point. Like it's just not like it exists, but it's just not widely like it's not used by
Mhm.
everybody. But 5, 10 years down the line, it will be mainstream and everybody will be onto it. But at this point,
Yeah,
like the technology exists, it's just not popular enough. But that just takes time.
yeah, and like I think like I mean I have all kinds of like theories of how to like make like holographic clothing like the next big thing like Yeezys or like Jordans or like stuff like that, right? Like I have a whole lot list of ideas, but like let's go back to just like brain rot, right? Like if the Senate said that TikTok is like being manipulated by the Chinese government to bring brain rot into it, bro, 90% of like TikTok creators are North American,
Yeah,
right? Or
I
European.
was about to
And
mention that because like obviously the Senate is I'm not gonna lie, the Senate is a little stupid. Their arguments are kind of dumb. Like I don't think China is the one pumping the brain rot in, but it's all these creators that are make majority of brain rot is generated by North America.
yeah,
The
man, and like what it is like consumer and demand, right? Supply and demand. Sorry, it's supply and demand, right?
and
Bro,
most
there's
of the
so
consumers, like you said, when you I think I don't know if you're about to mention it, but a lot of the consumers and the creators of brain rot is North America. It's not China.
yeah,
It's not Russia. It's not Europe. Even there is a little bit of brain rot, but I think it's a lot less than North America. Like there is, but like
yeah,
it's the scale is completely different. But like
it,
China on the other hand, they have like I'm not gonna say censorship is good, but I guess in their case you could argue that censorship does help because they obviously they don't have access to all of this stuff, so their kids are actually very smarter than all the kids in North America, like 10 times smarter. They're learning on another level, like
Mhm.
but yes, they're not allowed to have fun. They're not allowed to stay up past like 6 p.m. They're not, but they're way smarter. They're kind of like robots at this point.
yeah, man, they can send their kids to North America and like give them $200,000 to buy their own G wagons. I think that's like
Exactly. Yeah.
it's a good substitute to like having a kid that like is too brain rotted to do like daily work, right? Like there's so many kids that nowadays are just like, oh, I'm not meant for like the 9 to 5. Everyone's trying to be like the new like
Andrew
digital
Tate.
hip, right? Like they're trying to all have like Bugattis and Lamborghinis. Because thing is, again, that's part of brain rot, right? Before technology, yes, you would have people that want like a Lamborghini and want like a Bugatti, but you would also
Yo,
have people
come
that
on
just
now. Like you don't want a Lamborghini?
no. I mean, I want a Porsche 911 GT3 RS, but that's
Man of taste. A man of taste.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, again, only reason I know that, and the only reason people know that is because like you can so easily access the world at the tip of your finger, right?
Yeah.
Like people back in the day, like they would want like, oh man, I would want the new Mustang that comes out, which was probably $400 because of how economy was back in the day, right? Right nowadays, like even kids that are off the womb are like, I want the new Koenigsegg $5.2 million car. Like,
Yeah.
bro, what? Right? And so like it just doesn't make sense. And so like going back to like these creators, right? Supply and demand, right? There's so many people in social media that have fame that don't deserve it.
Hundred percent. Yeah.
That simply don't deserve it. Why? Because they had a stroke of luck. They saw that it caused people to turn their eyes towards it, and then they milked it so damn much so that they would
Milked
get
it
so much
dry,
money out of
completely
it,
dry.
completely dry to a point where now anyone else who tries to do it, right, it's just so boring, right? All
Yeah.
these TikTok dances, all these like trends with like TikTok and everything. Bro, some person shaking their hands and legs and head and going, right, right, and people like liked it, and then now they're like millionaires. I'm like, bro, I would love to be a millionaire for being like,
But I mean,
right,
at the
like,
same time, look at the fall off though. They were only up for like a year max. After
yeah,
that, they returned back to nothing. A lot of these,
yeah,
like
because they
majority of
milked it
these
dry.
bigger, like only the big, like the biggest of the biggest, like Charlie D'Amelio, Addison Rae, who were able to transition from TikTok into like traditional TV and stuff.
YouTube
Yeah,
and all that. Yeah,
YouTube, like music. If they didn't transition, just like the other TikTokers that stayed doing the TikTok dances, after a year, a couple months, they come back to exactly where they started from, back to nothing, and they probably blow all their money on like chains and cars and stuff, and they'll be back to square one. They were worse than where they started from.
yeah, man. Like the thing is because they have the formula, right? What happened with wine, right? People came on, they made comedic skits. A lot of them fell off, but a couple of them knew the formula and they did the transition at the right time. Those are the people that I'd say because they didn't have that formula prior, right? That they deserve to be at this kind of like Hall of Fame of where they are now. Logan Paul literally built his own. I don't like a lot of people will be like, oh, Logan Paul, what else sell out, right? He legit built the path in front of him that
Yeah,
everyone else walks on, right? Now, because of him, because of how he went from wine to YouTube, YouTube to
to boxing,
podcasting,
yeah,
podcast to
wrestling,
boxing, boxing to owning a multi-billion dollar
WWE now. Like
company,
it's
right?
he's in
Like
WWE. Like imagine going back in like 5 years back in time and telling somebody that the wine star Logan Paul is in WrestleMania. Like
yeah,
people would just
and
call you
he's a
crazy.
key star in the
Yeah.
WrestleMania too, right? And so like, and because of that, people now know, hey, the second you know how everyone says like everyone has that like 30 seconds of fame or 3 minutes of fame, right?
Yeah.
Now it's a formula where the second you get that 30 seconds, you don't let a single second go. You take it to the mile that it has, and then transition quickly to YouTube, and then take it from there onwards, right?
Like, but
Like I
even
love
YouTube,
this.
like that, like that's not like the at this point, like before YouTube was like the final spot to be. But now, like
Mhm.
even that's not working out. You gotta go to like traditional media to even survive. But even traditional media is falling apart.
It's falling apart. Like, bro, the guy, who was it? The biggest TikTok star. The guy goes, right? Like,
Cabby Lame, yeah, dude. I'm not gonna
I mean,
lie. I think like
I,
his content is some of the worst content like ever. He did not
uh,
deserve like the. It
I
was cool for
okay.
the meme, like to make him the
I
number
think
one.
I loved his TikTok videos.
You
That
actually liked
genuinely,
it,
like,
but it's so
I
low
loved it.
effort. Like there's nothing
That's
funny
what
about it, and he's basically stealing content.
no, but that's what makes it funny, right? The fact that like he would take content that's like sometimes it's like just genuinely like stupid, or sometimes it's not stupid, and he just points it out to like that kid right there, right? Like sometimes just to like plainly point it out and be like, huh, look at this idiocy, right? Like it was funny for like the first couple months, but then to like see the revenue he made off of it, bro, the millions of dollars he made off of it is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah, and like that's what it's getting to. Yeah, it's getting to a stage where like again, people take that 30 seconds of fame and they try to go as far as they want. And you're right, 90% of them fall back into like their normal life, right? But it's that 1% that stays there, and that 1% makes it seem like everyone can do it. And what happens is people abandon their normal livelihood, right? Their education, their work, and all of that, just to carry that small fame as far as possible. So the second, mm, the super gurus, yeah, Sneeko, I ate it raw. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm. Yeah, bro, it's so like people don't. And I have someone that I follow. I have only talked to him for like 2 months back in like 2021. No, no, like someone who like right now someone who religiously worships Andrew Tate. Right? And so like this guy, he regularly posts on his Instagram about how like good entertain every time he streams, he's like, oh, you all are sheeples, you all are like watching all this brain rot. I'm watching Andrew Tate, I'm so much better. Right. And so like it's the same thing, right? And so like it's so bad because like yeah, no, I see that. I see that. But like, yeah, going back to like that, like people, it this is how bad it is. Right? Andrew Tate clearly put out a massive scam of having Hustlers Academy, right? People so quickly forgot about it, bro. You know how much money he probably got from it? Let's say he sold that for like $6. I guarantee you, more than like 6,000 kids had bought it, right? Bro, that's $36,000 that Andrew Tate made off a scam. I think I'm whoever like there's so much more from it, right? People who probably went more into it to see if they got money, right? Like thing is out of all the digital like gurus, Andrew Tate was one of the bigger ones. Right? I guarantee you that 6,000, right? And out of like that 6,000 number, it's probably bigger. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, yeah, that's why I was like, okay,
Wait, oh
let me.
damn, I'm muted this whole time.
No, I heard you. I
No,
heard
I
you.
know, but muted on OBS. Damn it.
Oh damn.
Okay, it's
No
okay.
problem.
Whatever. Okay, I was just saying like, I mean, you responded to most of it, so I think it should be fine.
Hopefully, that's funny though. But
Yo,
like,
shut
yeah.
up, man, please. What's your issue? It's not funny.
No, but like I think we can actually this would be a good segue into like the end of the first
Yeah.
like or the third episode. But yeah, I just want to end off with like people at this point will blatantly be shown scams and like being taken advantage of, but because again the only thing that our generation chases, which is to be unique or to be
Yeah,
the
be
new
different.
trend, be different,
Be
be hip,
different.
be something that is some like people don't know so that they can push their attention towards it, right? Because that's what they chase. They rather ignore the fact that they get scammed by a hustler and continue to follow them because they are the unique, different change,
It's
right?
it's
And
funny. It's funny that like these guys will like tell you that you're sleeping and you need to wake up, but then they're also just being sheep, being led to the slaughter by like people like Andrew Tate who are basically just wolves in sheep's clothing, and all
yeah,
these
man,
guys that just follow them are sheep themselves, but they're tricked into thinking that they're the ones that are woke,
because you're living
and they don't realize
vicariously through
they're
them.
being tricked themselves.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, Andrew Tate has all this money, then has a Bugatti and all of this. Okay, buddy, where's your money? Where's your
Yeah,
Bugatti? Just because you're reiterating or regurgitating the words that he says doesn't mean you get the outcome that he gets, right? People are vicariously living through these gurus or like these big stars, and like it's getting to their head. That's why they don't have the cognitive ability to be able to like sit down and be like, "Okay, what is it that I need to work on to better myself?" Right? What is it that I need to work on so that tomorrow I am a step ahead to my goal than I am today, right? it's constantly like, oh well, Andrew Tate said this, and this matches with my outlook on life. That means that if this is the result that he got through his lifestyle, then I already know what my result of my lifestyle is. So I don't really need to worry about the next step because I know that in like the 100th step, I'll be where Andrew Tate is. So that's fine,
Like
right? Like that's what I
90% of the
mean.
stuff that Andrew Tate preaches is just complete BS. Like it's just
BS.
complete BS. Like it like even like the motivation. Like some people like to say, oh, they don't. I don't listen to Andrew Tate for like the stuff he says about women or whatever. But he's good with business and like he's like motivational or whatever. But if you really think about what he's saying, it's like it's prosperity gospel pretty much. It's just like
Yeah, man.
stuff that he says to make you feel good, but it doesn't really mean anything. It has no meaning behind it.
You know what it reminds me of? There's a paradox, or not a paradox, but like I guess a paradox or a parable. It just basically says like you give a monkey and a typewriter, or you give a monkey a typewriter and you give him an infinite time to just whack away at the keys, right?
Yeah,
Somewhere
eventually.
along, eventually he'll write Shakespeare,
Yeah,
right? So it's the same thing, right? Like you give these gurus the ability to just talk away. Eventually, they're gonna say something that makes you think, huh, maybe he's got a point there. Well, of course he has a point there. He's pointing out the obvious. But our generation is not able to know the obvious because we don't have the cognitive ability to see what is obvious and what is not
exactly.
obvious. So like it's like I could be throwing an I could show you an apple and be like, this is an apple. And if you don't have the ability to perceive it as an apple, you'll be like, huh, maybe that is an apple. Maybe he's got a point. And then once that goes, and then you go, this is an orange, and you show an orange, and they're like, oh, maybe that is an orange. And then
And
eventually get to a point where like you have a pear, and you're like, this is a pomegranate, and you're like, oh, well, it doesn't look like a pomegranate, but you said it is, and you were right on all these other things, and I
yeah,
believe you because I'm not able to decipher it for myself. So maybe it is a pomegranate. Like it's so
that's
like
exactly how cults work. Like I would say,
yeah,
I would even go as far to say that Andrew Tate has his own cult, pretty much.
100%, man. Like every celebrity has this. Taylor Swift has her own
Yeah.
cult. BTS or any Korean K-pop has their own cult. Everyone has their own cult
Yo, you're
because
gonna
everyone
get
wants to
canceled for
survive.
that, bro. You're
But I
gonna
don't.
you're gonna get
I
some
don't.
some people at your door for that.
All of this is just opinion. It's not factual. You can disagree with this on every aspect. You have the freedom to disagree with me. This is just my
Freedom of
opinion.
speech, freedom of
This is freedom of speech.
belief or whatever. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's a good spot to end it.
it
Talked a
is.
lot about like this is not on the agenda at all, like not even close to what was on the
I don't
agenda.
think I don't think we scratched what was on the agenda. We're supposed to be
Yeah, we didn't
talking
even
about.
mention anything. That was,
Uh,
well, I guess we'll save it for later. But I mean,
yeah.
it was. See, that's the whole point of waffle talk. Like you're just waffling. You don't need to have an agenda to talk. But it was a good conversation. Thank you for coming on. Maybe we can continue this another day. Make sure you
Yeah.
guys check it out on Spotify. Podcast is on Spotify. Link will be in the description somewhere. Make sure you guys follow as well. And yeah, you have anything to say to end off?
Uh, like the podcast, share the podcast. If you found any useful tips to better the podcast, definitely reach out and tell us. If you found any topics that were interesting and got your brain to be thinking, then stay blessed and keep motivating yourself.
Exactly. And if you liked any clips of it, make sure you guys clip it and edit it so that there's a Subway Surfers clip on the bottom and post it on TikTok and put a Subway Surfers clip on the bottom and post it on TikTok multiple times so we get as much exposure as possible and rob more brains in the future. And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Take it easy,
Peace.
everyone.